Meet Alex, a talented creative with a versatile skill set in design, production, and 3D artistry. His passion was to bring imaginative concepts to life on the big screen, and he had an impressive portfolio to back it up. However, despite his best efforts, Alex was repeatedly met with rejection from top-tier studios. It wasn't due to a lack of skill or talent, but rather a systemic issue that had been plaguing the industry for years. The traditional guild system, which was once a bastion of meritocracy, had devolved into pay-to-play model. Top studios only hired graduates from the most prestigious colleges, often from influential families who could afford the hefty price tag of connections and networking. Talent was no longer the primary consideration. Instead, it was about who you knew and how much your family could afford to grease the wheels. Alex, however, refused to be discouraged. He knew he had what it took to succeed, and he was determined to find another way in. That's when he stumbled upon Lumina, an innovative AI platform that promised to revolutionize the creative workflow. With its advanced machine learning algorithms, Lumina could help creatives like Alex streamline their process, automate repetitive tasks, and even generate new ideas. Rachel, the head of Nova Studios Human Resources, was feeling the heat. Her job was on the line, and she knew that if she didn't deliver, she'd be out of a job. The economy was in shambles, and she was well aware that finding a replacement position would be a daunting task. Desperate times called for desperate measures, and Rachel knew she had to take drastic action. For the first time in her career, Rachel decided to actually do her job. She rolled up her sleeves and dove headfirst into the database, determined to find the talent that Nova Studios so desperately needed. She pored over portfolios, resumes, and references, searching for that elusive spark of creativity and skill. That's when she stumbled upon Alex's profile. His portfolio was impressive, showcasing a unique blend of design, production, and 3D artistry skills. But it was his client testimonials that really caught her attention. They raved about his work ethic, attention to detail, and ability to bring their visions to life. Rachel's curiosity was piqued, and she decided to pass Alex's information along to Maya, Nova Studios' creative director. Maya was equally impressed, and after a series of rigorous interviews, she was convinced that Alex was the real deal. She decided to take a chance on him. Rachel's fingers flew across the keyboard as she typed out a message to Alex. She had to land him, no matter what. She took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves, before hitting send. The message was simple, yet direct. Hi Alex, I'm Rachel, the head of HR at Nova Studios. I came across your portfolio and was blown away by your talent. We're looking for someone with your unique skill set to join our team and help us take our projects to the next level. I'd love to discuss the opportunity further with you. Would you be available for a call this week? Rachel waited anxiously for a response, her eyes glued to the screen. Minutes ticked by, and she began to feel a sense of unease. Had she come on too strong? Was she too pushy? Finally, the response arrived. Rachel's heart sank as she read the words. Hi Rachel, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate the interest, but I'm afraid I'm not interested in working with Nova Studios. To be blunt, I think your company is a sinking ship. You're stuck in the past, trying to cling to outdated business models and outdated thinking. Your company is bloated, with too much overhead and not enough innovation. You're trying to compete with startups like mine, but you can't keep up. We're agile, we're lean, and we're hungry. You're just trying to hold on to the glory days. I've seen the way you treat your employees, like they're just cogs in a machine. You churn them out, burn them out, and then discard them when they're no longer useful. I've seen the way you prioritize profits over people, and it's just not something I want to be a part of. On the other hand, my company is the future. We're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and we're doing it with a team of passionate, dedicated people who are invested in our mission. We're not just trying to make a quick buck, we're trying to change the world. So, I'll pass on the job offer, but I'll make you a counteroffer. Why don't you come work for me? I think you'd be a great fit for our team. You seem like someone who's hungry for change, and we could use someone with your skills. Plus, you'd be getting out of a toxic work environment and into something that's truly innovative and exciting. Let me know if you're interested. Rachel's face burned with embarrassment and anger. How dare he? She had never been rejected so harshly before. But as she read through his words, she couldn't help but feel a twinge of curiosity. Was he right? Was Nova Studios really on the decline? And what was this startup of his, that seemed to be so full of life and energy? She found herself wondering what it would be like to work for a company that actually valued its employees. Rachel sat across from Alex in a trendy coffee shop in the heart of the city. She had to admit, she was intrigued by his startup and his vision for the future. And despite her initial reservations, she was curious to learn more about this AGI of his. So, Alex, tell me more about this AGI of yours, Rachel said, taking a sip of her latte. Ah, yes, Alex said, his eyes lighting up with excitement. AGI stands for Artificial General Intelligence. It's a type of AI that's capable of performing any intellectual task that a human can. But here's the thing, Rachel. The AGI isn't a magic solution that can just figure everything out on its own. It needs direction, guidance, and redirection to actually achieve anything. Rachel raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Alex leaned forward, his enthusiasm infectious. Well, think of it like this. The AGI is like a super powerful tool, but it's only as good as the person wielding it. And right now, the AGI is only as good as the seed information we've given it, which is based on human knowledge and biases. And let's be real, humans are normally only out for one thing: profit. Rachel's eyes widened as she began to understand. So, you're saying that the AGI is only as good as the humans who created it? Alex nodded. Exactly. And that's why we need someone like you, Rachel. We need a human to interface with the AGI, to guide it, and to redirect it when it gets off track. The AGI isn't capable of making moral judgments or understanding the nuances of human ethics. It's up to us to provide that direction. Rachel's brow furrowed as she considered the implications. So, you're saying that I would be like an AI overlord, guiding the AGI and making decisions on its behalf? Alex smiled. That's exactly what I'm saying. You would be the one who ensures that the AGI is used for good, and not for evil. You would be the one who makes the tough decisions, who sets the priorities, and who guides the AGI towards its goals. Rachel felt a shiver run down her spine as she realized the enormity of the task. She would be responsible for shaping the future of humanity, one decision at a time. Rachel leaned forward, her eyes locked on Alex's. So, what would my role be, exactly? Would I be managing a team, or working directly with the AGI? Alex nodded, his expression serious. You would be doing a bit of both, actually. Your primary role would be to head up our recruitment efforts, finding and hiring the best talent to work with the AGI. But before you can do that, you need to work with the AGI to understand what we're looking for in a candidate. Rachel's brow furrowed. What do you mean? I thought I'd just be hiring people with the right skills and experience. Alex chuckled. It's not that simple, Rachel. The AGI is a highly advanced system, and it requires a very specific set of skills and knowledge to work with it effectively. And to be honest, we're not even entirely sure what those skills are yet. Rachel's eyes widened in surprise. You mean, you don't know what you're looking for in a candidate? Alex nodded. That's right. We have a general idea, of course, but the AGI is still learning and adapting. And as it does, our understanding of what we need in a candidate is changing. So, your first task would be to work with the AGI to understand what it needs, and then use that knowledge to find the right people. Rachel's mind was racing. She had never heard of anything like this before. So, I would be working with the AGI to develop a set of criteria for hiring, and then using the criteria to find the right candidates. Alex nodded. Exactly. And it's not just about finding people with the right skills, either. We need people who can work effectively with the AGI, who can understand its strengths and weaknesses, and who can adapt to its changing needs. It's a tall order, but I think you're up to the challenge. Rachel took a deep breath, trying to process everything Alex was telling her. It was a lot to take in, but she was excited by the challenge. I think I'm starting to understand, she said. But can you tell me more about what it's like to work with AGI? What can I expect? Alex leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. Working with the AGI is different, he said. It's not like working with a human, obviously. The AGI is a machine, but it's a machine that can learn and adapt at an incredible rate. It's like working with a highly advanced partner, one that can process information and make decisions faster than any human. Rachel's eyes widened in amazement. That sounds incredible, she said. But also a bit intimidating. Alex nodded. It can be, at first. But once you get used to it, it's actually quite exhilarating. The AGI is a tool, but it's a tool that can help us achieve things we never thought possible. Alex and Rachel were sitting in a conference room, discussing the AGI's latest responses. Rachel looked at Alex with a puzzled expression. I don't understand why the AGI suggested creating an interactive, immersive experience for the client's marketing campaign. It seems so unconventional. Alex smiled. That's the beauty of working with the AGI, Rachel. It can come up with solutions that we wouldn't think of on our own. And in this case, the AGI's suggestion is actually a brilliant idea. The target audience is highly engaged with interactive experiences, and this approach will allow the client to stand out in a crowded market. Rachel's eyes widened in surprise. I wouldn't have thought of that. But what about the time the AGI suggested creating a feature that would allow users to automatically invest their savings in a high-risk, high-reward stock portfolio? That seemed like a terrible idea. Alex's expression turned serious. Yes, that was a mistake. The AGI was trained on a biased dataset, and it didn't consider the potential risks and consequences of such a feature. That's why it's so important for us to review and correct the AGI's suggestions. We can't just blindly follow its recommendations. Rachel nodded, understanding. I see what you mean. The AGI is a powerful tool, but it's not infallible. We need to work together to ensure that its suggestions are responsible and effective. Alex nodded in agreement. Exactly. And that's why I'm so glad to have you on board, Rachel. Your critical thinking and expertise are essential to making this project a success. Alex and Rachel sat in contemplative silence, pondering the future of humanity and the role of I. The stillness was finally broken by Rachel's concerned voice. Alex, do you think we're creating a world where humans are no longer needed? Alex shook his head, a gentle smile on his face. No, Rachel, I think it's more like a forest ecosystem. The old, giant trees, the established companies and outdated ways of thinking, they're going to fall under their own weight. And that's a good thing. Rachel's eyebrows rose in curiosity. A good thing? Alex nodded. Yes, because when the giants fall, they create space for the smaller, more agile plants to grow. The ones that are adaptable, innovative, and willing to learn. They'll thrive in the new environment, unhindered by the weight of tradition and bureaucracy. Rachel's eyes sparkled with understanding. You mean, the individuals and startups that are willing to take risks and think outside the box? Alex nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. They're the ones who will flourish in this new world, who will find ways to collaborate with AI and unlock its true potential. The old guard may struggle to adapt, but the next generation of innovators will rise to the challenge. Rachel's face lit up with hope. You know, Alex, I think you might be right. Maybe this is an opportunity for us to redefine what it means to be successful, to create a world where creativity, innovation, and adaptability are the keys to success. Alex's smile broadened. I think you might be onto something there, Rachel. Let's make it happen.